Hey, how are we, Rev Youth? Pastor Sam here, coming to you from the home office this week. I'm going to be talking about something that God has just continuously over the last couple of weeks and months really been bringing to my mind and to my spirit, and it's this idea of the health of our hearts. And what triggered me coming back to this topic is this past week I had a conversation with one of the amazing women at Rev Church, and she was telling me about a story that took place at work. So she's been a nurse for many, many years, and she had a doctor who was just, walking past her and said, "Hey, how are you doing?" And she had made the joke to the doctor, "Oh, I feel like I'm having a heart attack." Well, the doctor, being a doctor, did not take that as a joke, and they began to run some tests and find out what may or may not be taking place. And what they found was that she had a blood clot building on her heart. And if left untreated, what would have happened is it would have led to a widowmaker heart attack. Now, if you've never heard of a widowmaker heart attack, it is a heart attack that catches the person off guard. There's a blood clot that builds on their heart that they have no idea is happening, and it just breaks off one day and it cuts off blood flow to the heart, and it's more often than not fatal. And so by her making the joke, the doctor took it serious and said, "No, let's check your heart." And that truth right there is not only important for our physical health, but it is so important for our spiritual health. If we take our physical health serious, then we need to take our spiritual health even more serious. We need to check our heart. And the reality is, for myself and for you, more often than not, we're incapable of checking our own heart because we have blind spots. And we convince ourselves that things that we're doing are okay when really they're not. And so we need God, who's the best doctor there is, to check our heart. And so we're reminded of this in Psalm 139, verses 23 and 24, where it says this: "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there are any grievous way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting." What the psalmist is sharing here is, God, I can't possibly search my own heart. I need you to search my heart, and I need you to search my thoughts. You know me better than anyone. You know my spiritual health better than anyone, better than myself, and I need you to search my heart, reveal to me the areas where I am falling short, the areas that I am committing sin that I may not even see. God, I need you to reveal it to me, and then help lead me to the ways of everlasting. Help lead me to have a relationship with you that is most important. Spiritual and heart health combined. God, I need your help to find that. And then in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5, it says this: "Trust in the Lord with all your heart." Catch that. All of your heart. "And do not lean on your own understanding." That is a reminder that we need. We can't trust our own understanding of things all the time. Honestly, we can't trust it more often than not, because the world can creep into our thought processes. The world and culture can creep into our hearts, and our hearts affect our decisions. And so what we need to do is, rather than leaning on our own understanding, we need to have God's understanding. We need to lean onto Him. So first we need to have God search our hearts, and then we need to lean on God's understanding of how things should be, so that our hearts can be healthy and leading us into a place of where we have a really solid relationship with God. And then the last scripture I want to read is just one chapter later. It's Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23, and it says this: "Keep your heart with all diligence, for from it flows the springs of life." That's the final thought I'm going to lead you with. Guard your heart with all diligence. Guard it. Be on guard for your heart. Allow God to have your heart. Allow God to search your heart. Allow God to lead you and guide you. Don't let the world creep in. Don't let culture creep in. When we allow the world and culture to lead in, and even our own thoughts and desires to creep in, our selfish and fleshly desires, when that begins to creep in, that's when problems happen. That's when we start to become unhealthy in our spiritual lives. So we need to guard our hearts. We need to have our eyes wide open and allow God to lead us. Rev Youth, that is your challenge this week. Search your heart, have God search your heart, and allow Him to lead you in the way that you should go. Peace.